Let me paint a vivid picture for you. 5 years ago, you were earning $42,000 a year. You lived in a cramped one-bedroom apartment and drove a beat-up used Honda Civic. Back then, you had a specific number in your head. You thought, if I could just hit $70,000, I'd be set. I'd finally be able to breathe. I'd feel successful, stable, and truly comfortable. Well, fast forward to today. You put in the work, you stayed late, took the promotions, and successfully landed that better job. Today, you're making $78,000 a year, nearly double what you used to earn. You've upgraded the apartment, you're driving a much newer car, and you go out to dinner whenever you feel like it. And yet, despite all that progress, here you are, staring at a video about why you aren't happy with your money. You're feeling the exact same financial pressure you felt back when you were earning $42,000. In fact, if you're being completely honest, the stress feels even heavier now. And the craziest part? Your brain is already whispering the same old lie. If I could just hit 100,000, then I'll finally be happy. Does that cycle sound familiar? My name is Bobby, and I've spent years researching why hitting financial milestones feels like running toward a horizon that never gets any closer. What you're feeling isn't a character flaw. You aren't ungrateful, and you aren't bad with money. What you are experiencing is one of the most well-documented psychological phenomena in human history, the hedonic treadmill. Also known as hedonic adaptation, this concept was coined by researchers back in the 1970s. The premise is devastatingly simple. Humans have an incredible ability to adapt to both the peaks and the valleys of life. Whether you win the lottery or suffer a tragic accident, research shows that after a period of time, you will eventually return to a stable baseline level of happiness. Think about that for a second. A famous 1978 study found that lottery winners weren't significantly happier than regular people just 1 year after their big win. In some cases, they actually enjoyed everyday activities less than they did before they were rich. This isn't a poverty problem, it's a biological programming problem. Your brain is running this exact same script on every raise and every promotion you've ever received. Research suggests it takes only 3 to 6 months for your brain to recalibrate. That $60,000 salary that felt like a fortune in January, by July, it's just your life. The car that made you feel like a boss on the showroom floor, give it 8 months, and it's just the machine that gets you to work. Your brain wasn't designed to stay satisfied. It was designed to survive, adapt, and always seek more. Now, let's look at the numbers, because this is where the treadmill starts to feel like a trap. A famous Princeton study by Daniel Kahneman found that emotional well-being rises with income, but it hits a plateau. Adjusted for today's inflation, that ceiling is around $100,000. After that, every extra dollar has a diminishing marginal utility. Think of it like this. If jumping from $50,000 to $100,000 gives you 20 units of happiness, jumping from $100,000 to $200,000 might only give you 5. You've doubled your income, likely doubled your stress and your working hours, but you only got a tiny fraction of the emotional payoff. So why does the bank account grow while the breathing room shrink? The answer is lifestyle inflation. When you get that $20,000 raise, you don't keep your life the same. You move to a nicer neighborhood because you've earned it. You lease a car with a payment that's $200 higher. You upgrade your grocery list and your wardrobe. Suddenly, your essential expenses have ballooned so much that your discretionary income, the money you actually have left to play with, is lower than it was when you were making less. This is why a staggering 36% of people making over $200,000 a year still report living paycheck to paycheck. Their lives have simply expanded to consume every available resource. They're running at maximum speed on the treadmill, convinced that peace of mind is just one more promotion away. But here's the cold, hard truth. The treadmill doesn't have a finish line. So if the treadmill has no finish line, why do we keep running? It's because of a psychological trap called the arrival fallacy. This is the persistent illusion that once you reach a certain destination, once you pay off the mortgage, hit 7 figures in your portfolio, or finally retire, you'll reach a permanent state of bliss. But science tells us the exact opposite. Happiness doesn't live at the destination. It lives in the progress toward meaningful goals.
The anticipation of a vacation often provides more dopamine than the trip itself. Training for a marathon is often more fulfilling than crossing the finish line. When you postpone your happiness until you arrive financially, you're trading your present life for a promise that your brain is biologically incapable of keeping. This is where we need to talk about the experience gap. Research consistently shows that spending money on experiences like travel, learning a new language, or a dinner with old friends provides much more lasting happiness than buying material things. Why? Because you can't get used to a memory the way you get used to a sofa. Experiences become a part of your identity. You are the sum of your adventures and the challenges you've overcome. You are not your car, your watch, or your square footage. In fact, a 2014 study found that the act of waiting for an experience generates more joy than waiting for a package to arrive. We're systematically overspending on things that we adapt to quickly and underspending on the very things that make life worth living. It's not just bad psychology, it's a total failure of math. So the million-dollar question is, how do you stop? How do you step off the treadmill without giving up on your ambition? You don't have to live like a monk to be happy, you just have to change the rules of the game. The first and most powerful tool is what I call a lifestyle anchor. This is a predetermined contract with yourself. When you receive a raise, you decide ahead of time that a fixed percentage, say 60%, goes directly into investments, while only 40% flows into your lifestyle. This creates a barrier against automatic inflation. It ensures that while your life gets better, your freedom grows even faster. You aren't drifting into a bigger life, you're choosing it consciously. The second step is negative visualization. It sounds counterintuitive, but spend 10 minutes once a week vividly imagining that you've lost what you currently have. Imagine losing the job, the house, or the health you enjoy today. When you open your eyes, that gap between the imagined loss and your current reality creates a massive surge of gratitude. Gratitude is the only known biological reset for hedonic adaptation. You don't need more money to feel richer. You just need to stop taking what you have for granted. Finally, you must optimize for time, not stuff. Every dollar you spend on a luxury item is a dollar that could have bought you an hour of freedom in the future. At a 4% withdrawal rate, every $25 you invest today buys you $1 of passive income forever. You aren't just stacking paper, you're buying back your mornings, your hobbies, and the time with the people you love. The treadmill isn't evil, it's an ancient survival mechanism designed for a world of scarcity. But we live in a world of artificial abundance. You aren't broken for wanting more, you're just running on old software. But today, you can choose to hit the stop button. You can decide that enough is a fixed target, not a moving one. Success isn't about how fast you can run, it's about having the courage to walk away from a race that was never meant to be won. If this perspective changed the way you look at your bank account, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of wealth. I'll see you in the next one.